the track where you on your new album that you just put out, Small Room. I believe you called it. What was it called? Unusual. There you go.
Yeah,
That's a heck of a track, man. The way it was recorded, just super fire, man. And I
thank
don't know.
you, bro.
I guess is that something that was inspired that track specifically? Um, how many times have you been called quote unquote unusual for beatboxing? Have you ever had like beatboxers
I
get it all the
mean,
time?
yeah, I mean, especially when you're first starting off, everyone's like, "What are you doing?" Like, that's weird, you know. There's some people that are like, "Oh, that's dope," but then there's other people that's like, "Just stop." And especially like my parents, they're like, "You're just making noise. Like, that's not music. Like, you can't
Mm.
pursue this. Like, that's just gonna be a hobby, right?" It's like, well, I love this, so um, yeah, and that was like, and especially sometimes when you're walking around the city, a lot of people have a very funny perception of beatboxing. Like they look at it and they're like, "Oh, that's a cool party trick," but that's about it, and they don't see it as music because as they're just walking by, they're hearing us going like they're not seeing it in context with the entire jam that we were probably doing. Because there were just times I remember where like me and the group and some other beatboxers, we're just in the city, we're just like in a circle and we're jamming, and people would pass by and they're like, you could just hear like some girl being like, "Oh, that's a cool party trick," and like we listen to that and we're like, "Damn, bro, they don't get it. Like they don't get it. Like people still think this shit is just like something cool, but and not necessarily something that's like real music that can move people. You know what I mean?"
Well, they've never been to a
So
grand beatbox battle before, then for sure.
yeah, exactly.
And
Or any live event.
or any live event. I'm just grand beatbox is probably one of the epitomes of seeing a whole crowd just
Yeah, yeah.
getting off, going crazy.
If you witness that, like you can't deny that beatboxing is music. You know.
100%. And actually, that's like I'm gonna keep on bringing it back to you to what you just released, and I have a lot of questions about Small Room. But when you were saying that your parents didn't necessarily support it or like it or say it was anything serious, that kind of ties into the Billy Bob track and having the
Exactly.
storyline where you bring through a storyline of whether he's gonna pursue his dream or if he's gonna go and just find a quote unquote regular job, more normal job, or should he be going out and busking and trying his hardest, and the people that you might be asking him and saying like, oh, they're not supporting him in the moment, but then they wonder why after all this time and effort that they put into it, as a lot of beatboxers and artists do in general. Those people are the people that come back and be like, how are you doing this? And you're like, well, you didn't watch me for the past like however many years practicing, and then this thing is gonna grow and grow and grow. So I really that track on your EP, like that was a good one, man. It kind of spoke to me when I
Thank
was
you,
listening
man.
to it. So is that kind of a personal experience, that Billy Bob, or is that a character that you?
Definitely, definitely. If you hear like the end of my second verse, I say, "And if you're wondering who Billy Bob is, it is me, but it can also be you, depending on who you choose to be. Now, would you choose to be like Billy Bob and follow your dreams, or are you going to be another 9 to 5 machine?"
Mm,
So, just that, like that really described like what I was going through, trying to like explain this to my parents. Me going to Stony Brook University to study biology and chemistry, and like my parents wanting me to like really pursue um, medicine and become a doctor or something around that field, like the sciences. And I was always good at science. I was always good at math, but I always knew like the music was something I truly wanted to pursue because it was like the only thing that really made me happy. And growing up, like some of my friends would be like, "Oh, that's a cool hobby, but you need to make sure that you have like a real job so you can support it, and like you need to have security, this and that." And my parents, obviously, they were like heartbroken when I told them, you know, I wasn't gonna finish school. I was going through a lot of, stuff during those times, just like mentally as well, like from them not understanding me like trying to be a rebel and follow this dream, like kind of behind their back and not tell them that I was actually like flunking out of school. Um, like it was pretty bad. Like it was affecting me very mentally and emotionally to the point where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to carry on like this. Like if my parents don't support this dream, you know, and me wanting to do what I want to do, like what's going to happen? Um, that's what like tied in the end of the first verse to the second verse. It's like, oh, so did he chase his dreams, you know, or did he, or did he just get like a normal job? And it's like, no, I decided I'm going to just follow my music. And if I show my parents that I'm really about this and I'm very involved in what I'm doing, then eventually they'll start to support it. Eventually they'll start to support me. So it took a while for them to warm up to it. And then once they started watching like some of my battle videos, like my dad was watching my 2014 East Coast battle with Jflo,
Hmm.
and I didn't even tell him to watch any of these. He literally just searched me up by himself and was watching it. And I remember coming home one time and I heard myself beatboxing on the TV. I was like, "What's going on?" And then I was a little embarrassed too because I was like, I don't show that side to my family. You know, like my family does not know like the side that you guys get to see. Like growing up in a in a Bengali household, like it's all about respect and honoring your parents and like listening to them. And my parents are also very traditional, conservative as well. You know, very religious, devout people. So there's not, you know, any cursing in the house. Like I'm not as I can't be as expressive. You know, I can't be myself fully when I'm at home. So like when I saw my dad seeing that side of me on the screen, I was like, like I didn't know how he would take it. I didn't know he'd be like, why are you acting like this? Like, who's that? That's not you, you know? But he was actually like proud of me. Like he was happy. And that made me feel really like good. You know, I was like, okay, they're starting to see my world a little bit. They're starting to support me. Um, so since then, like, you know, they've allowed me to do my thing, like me doing what I'm doing with Beatbox House and then moving in with the Beatbox House, all that. So yeah, that song was definitely about my life, but I also know there's countless, so many other beatboxers going through the same thing, if not already went through it. So I knew that like this song specifically was meant for the beatbox community. Anyone with a passion too, though, but specifically for the beatbox family, because I know that they'll understand, like they'll get the struggle.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people again that it hit for me, and it's not specific, like it's not just for beatboxers necessarily. It's anybody that has a passion and has tried something, and maybe didn't get that support when they might have needed it to go and have that confidence in themselves. But the people who push through that and make it into that next level and try to go and be like, nah, this is really what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to obtain. And you have your goals set and you structurally make these advances in your life to prove the people that you're not even to necessarily to your people, but sometimes to yourself too, being like reconfirm that you're doing what you should be doing in the world.